Hello and welcome to another episode of the Party Football Podcast. If you are new around here, please do like the content and subscribe to the channel, as it really does help us out. So here's a quick look at what's coming up this week. We're going to be looking forward to all the match week 27 action in the Premier League, including Chelsea's trip to Brentford, as well as Liverpool's trip to Nottingham Forest as Jurgen Klopp's men look to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table, as well as the big Manchester derby on Sunday as Pep Guardiola's men host Manchester United in what promises to be a fiery encounter, as well as all the other match week 27 action in the Premier League. So strap yourselves in, it's going to be a good one. Oh yeah, lads, looking forward to match week 27 in the Premier League. Johnny, going to start with Brentford versus Chelsea. We've seen Brentford lose 4-2 to West Ham recently, but not a great performance. Brentford have only won 3 in the last 15 games, no draws. So 3 wins, 12 losses in the last 15 games. It's the last couple of games, the last 6 games, I'll say they've had quite a tough run of games. You know, they've had Spurs, they've had Wolves twice, they've had Man City twice, they've had Liverpool. But yeah, they need to start, picking up points like we were talking about last week. They just need to start winning games.
Yeah, that's makes for grim viewing for Brentford. They've been pretty poor the last 15 games, an atrocious record. And especially when you look at things at the bottom of the table are heating up very, very quickly. Everton, of course, given back 4 points after their deduction, pulled from 10 points down to 6. You're also looking at Crystal Palace have, dropped the hammer as well. So they've kind of made a decision. Now, I'm not saying Thomas Frank should get the bullet or anything like that, but they need to start picking up wins very, very quickly. This season they've been up and down. They've taken a few hammerings and also got a few big wins. There's 2.5 seasons now in the Premier League. We kind of expect a bit more from them. That's the level they've shown, which is quite amazing. when you think of it, when they first come up, they would have bit your hand off to be at this stage, but to be at this level at this stage. But yeah, you're looking at last 15 games. The season's been really, really poor. So they have to start turning around. This gets into the start of the season where you can get dragged into something, and I don't think they want any part of a relegation battle.
Yeah, Rob. Brentford 5 points above relegation. We've talked numerous times about Tony coming back. Wissa is now back. They're still going to be missing Mbeumo for a pretty long time, but Brentford used to be quite good in defence. They used to be a very, very hard team to beat. They've conceded 9 goals in 3 games now. Obviously, Liverpool conceded 4. West Ham to go to West Ham concede 4, especially West Ham team that were in pretty bad form themselves and concede 4. They had chances.
Yeah, some good goals scored though on them, to be fair. So we just can't avoid Everton's striking to the far corner. Pretty annoying for Brentford. That's kind of what we know them as, a good defensive unit and just counter attack. But I suppose when they last pretty much their whole attack, they altered their defense in a way to try and kind of keep it airtight, and then did the complete opposite. I don't know, because there's no real injuries or anything to their defence, or midfield. Yeah, it's just really an attack where they lost everything. So maybe just got too stale. Their style of play just got too well known. A bad run happens to the best of teams, but not losing 12 at the last 15 though. That's relegation form right there, which I'd hate to say for Brentford, because they're quite a likable team. But you have to face the music. If you're conceding bags of goals, you have to do something about it. I think everyone likes Thomas Frank, but survival is the biggest thing in the Premier League, regardless of who got you up there. We've seen other managers be at clubs for longer and still get the shank like that.
Yeah. Speaking of managers maybe getting the sack, Rob, I'm going to stick with you for this one because we know you love Chelsea. We see them in the EFL Cup final, lost in extra time to Liverpool. 6 domestic finals in a row they've lost. Absolutely delighted for them because they're just the whole operation of Chelsea is just shambles. But do you think, we talked about Chelsea not really giving managers a lot of time in the job, but do you think that Pochettino himself would be kind of, maybe he wants just his his press conferences over the last couple of weeks just have seemed that he's maybe getting a bit frustrated with a lot of things.
I'd say he definitely is frustrated. The transfers that were brought in weren't anything to do with him. Even while he was in charge, he didn't know who was coming in. He was just, he was told about maybe that there's a new player coming in, which was every day during the summertime, but he wasn't actually told, or he wasn't out there progressively pushing for certain players, which for any manager is tough to have, a bunch of nobodies realistically, bar maybe 3 or 4 names, because that's exactly what Chelsea are now. Even their bench, you could It's very
You
strange.
don't have people on it anymore. Yeah.
I literally don't know half of them on it. Like, they're just random names, like random generated players. Like, it is tough a lot of time. He still should be given some time, but to be given some control. It's not his fault, but he did agree to go into the hot seat that is Chelsea Football Club manager, regardless for how successful you are as a manager or how successful you are at Chelsea. You're always maybe 5 games away from getting a sack. We've seen Ancelotti, one of the most decorated managers in world football, most well known anyways. He got the sack after winning the double. Thomas Tuchel, won Champions League, got the sack. Roberto Di Matteo won Champions League, got the sack. Mourinho got sacked a couple of times. Frank Lampard has got it twice or 3 times. Deserved though. It's a tough one for Poch, but delighted for Chelsea to be down there. And don't let me be the one to say that I hope Brentford give them an awful walloping this weekend, because Brentford deserve a win. Chelsea deserve another loss. To go hand in hand together, it's a perfect relationship for the weekend.
Right, score prediction, so up.
3-1 Brentford.
Johnny?
3-1 Brentford. Agree with Rob, and Posh to get the bullet after them.
Yeah, I think I was going to say 3-1 to Brentford as well. Yeah, clean sweep, 3-1 Brentford, imagine.